My name is AnnJobe. I go to Grace Presbyterian Church. My oldest son, Ian, committed suicide 3 years ago. I wanted to give just an update and just let you know how we're doing. So sometimes things happen and it's big when it happens, and then you kind of lose track and you're like, well, how are they doing, or what's been going on? And I wanted to share with y'all how things are going. To say a little bit about Ian, as a college student at LSUA, he died at our home. We found him. He was in the hospital for about a week, trying to determine if he was brain dead or not. So it's kind of a complicated timeline there, but that's what happened. I will say that when someone dies like that, it is a reality-changing, world-stopping experience. And because of that, when someone commits suicide, it's called a complicated grieving process. Why did the person do that? How did they get to that point? What could we have done to help them? What wasn't done that should have been done? I found even now with my other children, so Ian was our oldest son. We have Caleb, who is going to Louisiana Tech. My third son, Luke, is going to Louisiana Tech. We have a 13-year-old son, Eli. And my other two sons, Caleb and Luke, are engaged. And so that process of them becoming engaged and moving away from home, being engaged, has been complicated for me because of the normal empty nest syndrome moms and dads go through when their kids move to the next stage of life where your relationship with them changes. But then there's also a part of me that is grieving Ian as this thing happens. And so how do you deal with a situation that's going to affect you for the rest of your life? I want to let y'all know, first of all, I feel like we're doing well. God has been very good to us. The two things that helped me the most, that really gave me like the ability to kind of hang on when I didn't feel like I wasn't going to be able to hang on and continue. And the first thing was reading about people that had gone through like just terrible situations and their stories and the hope that they found later in life, and that they were able to continue, and that God gave them good lives. And that helped me realize that we can get through these things. There is hope that God is not done, that He can still continue to make our life good even though this terrible thing has happened. And so that helped me. And also and I cannot say this enough, this is a private group of people. This is a private sort of pain. So many people, just came up to me and like, can I take you out to lunch, or arrange conversations and just shared about their experience. And that was super helpful to me. Nobody knows what to do to make it, but you just have to continue on, and you just have to hold on to the Lord. I mean, there's just no easy answer. But knowing that those people were there, just available, just if I needed to call, and just that they cared about me made a huge difference. It doesn't have to be much. I had a friend that just sent me smiley faces. That's all she did ever. I mean, it wasn't like philosophical deepness, but just the idea that she cared, she was thinking about me, that she was praying for me, meant a lot. If you know what pain is, you have the ability to reach out and help and connect. And it's important. We need each other. God did some things directly that were very for me specifically. One of them, the probably one of the biggest one, was my illness. About a year before Ian died, I was very sick, almost died. I had a very bad infection. I had perforated colon, and then they found cancer in my colon when they went in to do emergency surgery. So I was in chemotherapy the year before Ian died. Ian died in January, and about March of that year, I had a pretty severe back injury, and that came about from not having any abdominal muscles, basically, and just working. Like in my grief, I was just like hauling paint cans, digging. I mean, that's what I do. And I was down with my back for probably about 8 months. Then I started having migraines and started having very reduced energy. Had to take a 3 or 4 hour nap every day for about a year. Of course, I didn't go through this alone. My family, my husband, my children, my sister, my nephews, my parents, they were all going through this too. The way that was a blessing was, one, I couldn't try to become God for them. And that was important because they had to deal with God, and I didn't get in the way. And then the second thing that was good about it was it made me grieve, and I couldn't escape my grief. You know, I couldn't escape. I couldn't run. There was nowhere I could go. You know, I had to be still. I was forced into stillness, and that stillness was very healing. All I could do was just sit with God because I didn't have the spiritual, emotional, physical energy to even drum up thoughts. And I think that's really what healed me, allowing His silence to be my silence and not fill it up, I think, has been like a life-changing thing for me. The biggest thing that God has taught me through this experience is that He's a lot bigger than I thought He was. No matter what bad things happen, what tragedies happen, that we cannot escape God's good plan. He's really God. He's really in control. I really can trust Him. And then the other thing I've really learned is that I am less than I thought I was. Even while I was believing that God is sovereign and it was on His hands, at the same time I believed that my love could save Ian. That's the truth. That I could provide a safe enough place, that I could love him enough that he would pull through. I was really worshiping my own power. That's what it was. To be totally honest, it's the struggle we all have in our heart, that we are enough. And when something like this happens, we have to face that we're not enough and we're not going to be enough. But there is someone that is enough. This has been my prayer consistently, that he would take this thing that's happened that looks like it's utterly evil, and that he will use it to bless people, to bring people to Christ, to show his love for them, that people that knew Ian will be brought to the faith, that they will know Christ's love for him. This is a memorial book for Ian, our son. It's on Facebook, Ian Scott Jobe Memorial. It would be a good resource if it's something that you're struggling with, or if you know somebody that's struggling. Also, I'm available and I am happy to talk. Thank you so much for allowing me to share our story with you, my story with you, and our lives. And I pray that God bless you and just be present for you, and that you will feel his love for you.